Hey everyone, today I'm coming to you with your review on the brand new Star Wars The Black Series Ahsoka Sabine Wren. Now she is 03 in the Galaxy packaging for the Ahsoka show, and I did get her at GameStop Canada, where I did pay around $32 to $35 Canadian. And for that price, I gotta say she is quite a good figure. I really only have a few nitpicks here and there, which I will get into in the review, which, speaking of which, let's get into the review for the brand new Black Series Sabine Wren. Now, as always, before I get into the figure, I do quickly want to go over the box. Up top, we have the Black Series logo. Down below, we have Sabine Wren, warning, don't choke 4+, Hasbro, and of course, the Star Wars Ahsoka title in a teal color. Here we have her mural art for the Galaxy packaging, and I gotta say, this looks absolutely amazing. At first, I thought this was like a railway or like a train track of sorts, but then just before I started filming this video, I stupidly realized that, oh, this is the iconic balcony that Ezra and her look off of in Rebels and the Ahsoka show, and there is, of course, Lothal. Very cool image of Sabine, and she is next to Ezra, which is 02, and after her is Morgan Elsbeth. Morgan Elsbeth will have a review next. Ezra and Ahsoka are out now. Sabine Wren down below. On the back, her bio reads, Sabine Wren, said after the fall of the Empire, Ahsoka follows former Jedi Knight Ahsoka Tano as she investigates an emerging threat to a vulnerable galaxy. There we have the same image that was on the side. Now on the back, 03 Star Wars Ahsoka, a bunch of legalese, nothing really up top besides the Black Series logo. On the top of the box, nothing on the bottom, just some more legalese and the barcode. But without further ado, let's get into the Sabine figure herself. Now here we have the Sabine figure along with all of her accessories, being a helmet, the lightsaber, or Ezra's lightsaber. Well, let's be honest, it is hers now, as Ezra has his own lightsaber, along with two very, very cool blasters. Now, I do want to start off here with the blasters, as personally, I think I can say they are one of my favorite aspects with this figure. They just are so unique. It was kind of inevitable, I guess, because Sabine spray paints everything, that she would eventually spray paint her blasters, and I love the colors that she went with. Now, you can, of course, put these in her holsters on the side, just like so, and I do believe these are the same ones that Bo-Katan used, along with some other recently released Black Series Mandalorians. But on top of putting them in the holster, they do fit very nicely in both of her hands, and as you can see, she can shoot you down no problem. Now, the lightsaber is the exact same sculpt that we did get with the Ezra lightsaber, but like I mentioned in the Ezra review, there is a difference in color, kind of a crazy difference. This one is all black, this one doesn't have any black whatsoever, kind of gunmetal gray. I can't imagine from here going all the way up to the clip or whatever you call it would be all black. I don't know, I just don't remember any lightsabers having that straight amount of black on it. At least there's some silver going throughout, but then again, I could be wrong, and in general this still does work quite well with her, and you can put that in her hand just like so. And like the blasters, it does fit quite well. I heard some people saying that the lightsaber doesn't fit too well with Ezra or her, but in my opinion, I really do disagree. Now, when you aren't using the lightsaber, you can of course take the blade out just like so. Keep in mind there are a couple of indents, so you wouldn't really be able to use some other colors in this. I'm sure you could try maybe the Star Killer ones, as they also do have indents, but I thought I would mention that nonetheless. And as you can see, she does have the hook on her belt, and that does fit on very, very nicely. So with those three accessories out of the way, now is time for the helmet, and I gotta say they did a way better job than the TVC one, although there still is a couple problems with this. It is a little bit warped when you put it on, and you can kind of, I don't know, like squish it to make it not warped, but still, I don't know, looks a little bit off to me. And also, when I was doing the intro, I had to cut it a bunch of times as it just looked like she was a Funko Pop. It bobbles a lot, doesn't fit on very nicely, and you can kind of just pull it off with no hesitation or resistance whatsoever. But that is kind of a symptom with a lot of these Black Series figures with removable heads. I hope they fix that eventually, but I just hope it doesn't impact the actual head sculpt underneath. Before we go over that, I do still have a couple more things to say with the helmet. The rangefinder is, of course, movable, so you can move it down, but you can also kind of move it full 360. I don't think you would need to do that, but you can nonetheless, and I imagine you can also take it off, but once again, I don't know why he would do that. All the paint here does look quite good. I really love the added white. It kind of just makes this figure really stand out because, yeah, the figure is very colorful, but that little addition of white on the top is kind of where I first direct my eyes when I look at her on my shelf. That could just be me, but I really do like the color scheme that we have going on here with the helmet. Now, putting the helmet to the side, let's take a look at the amazing likeness to, oh, I'm going to butcher this, Natasha Liu Bordizzo. I've heard it's Natasha Liu Bordizzo, but whatever it is, I think that was close enough. You get the point. The head sculpt here looks absolutely amazing. Looks like it was pulled right out of the show. Now, it kind of does have the same symptom that a lot of these helmeted figures have, where the actual head sculpt underneath seems squished, or at least the hair does. It's not as bad on this one, as she naturally does have short hair, but the Bo-Katan is pretty bad, even though, you know, it's not terrible. Just something of note nonetheless. Now, if you look closely, you can see that there are two, at least, that I can see freckles that the actual actress has, and that is some very nice attention to detail. The eyebrows are very nicely applied. Just be careful with them when putting the helmet on, but unlike a lot of the helmeted figures, I don't think that should be a big problem, as it is not a tight fit whatsoever. And the eyes, I think, is the best part here. They have a little bit of what seems to be some form of makeup, or it could just be the eyelashes are very nicely painted. Just in general, the photoreal keeps getting better and better. Now, if you look at the hair, it seems that there is a little bit of a color difference, or at least some form of a wash, and that also looks really good. I think I only really have positives to say regarding the head sculpt, minus that the hair could have been a little bit more puffy, but other than that, it is not bad whatsoever. Now, moving down to the torso, as you can see, the Beskar looks really good, specifically the paint added. I love how, I don't know, sharp it is, and not only the paint and the design is sharp, but the actual, like, chest plate here is very sharp too, kind of unique for the Beskar that we have in the line so far. And the lines on each side, this one continues on the shoulder, same thing over here. On the back, oh wow, I didn't know that it goes all the way around back too. There is a couple of scratches there, which I would be mad about, but honestly, it kind of makes some extra detail for the figure, so I'm not going to complain about that. I love the bright kind of blue here, or azure blue, whatever you want to call it, on this side. Now, there is some design there. I don't know what that would be. I probably should know, but let me know in the comments down below. And on this side, we of course have the Rebel logo, which does look quite good. Now, the arms both have the same color for the gauntlet and the same kind of design going on. I don't know what design that is, but I don't know, some reason it kind of reminds me of Purgle or something like that, and that does continue on the back. The gauntlets are both quite similar, but they do have different designs on both sides. I don't know, does Sabine have a flamethrower? Not too sure on that, but still, that does look quite good nonetheless. Then moving down to the belt here, we have a lot going on. We kind of have two buckles with some silver paint. On the back, we have two pouches, which also do look good. And there's the holster, and of course, some silver for the actual clip for the lightsaber. Then moving down to the legs, sadly, she does not have the thigh cut, which I guess I shouldn't say sadly. I'm still open to the idea of it. It doesn't really ruin any figures for me. My friend is not a huge fan of it, but I don't really care. I guess it does make the figure look a lot cleaner. And especially a lot of these figures don't need the upper thigh cut, and they did kind of add some extra movement at the leg there, but still, I do understand if you do not like that. We kind of just gotta accept it though, as all of these new Black Series figures seem to have no upper thigh cut. Nonetheless though, we do have some lines going down, and the brown throughout, minus the Beskar, does look good on the pants, and of course the torso and arms does look really good. On the back, the lines do continue, and then moving down to the knee pads here, they both are different colors that do correspond with the boots. I really like this side specifically. I just love all the different kind of mismatched paint throughout. Really makes this figure stand out, and honestly, she's one of my favorites in the line so far. This side is a little bit boring, just some kind of brown, nothing really going on here nonetheless. Other than that though, I'm pretty sure that's all I really have to say with the Sabine figure, so let's get into her articulation. Now, the articulation is very good on this figure. The head does go back about that much, forward that much, side, wow, that is a lot. Side, same thing. And then, of course, full 360 there is your full range with the neck joint. Now, same thing with the Ezra. If you move it 360 a bunch of times, the front, which is kind of where the V is, will move to the back. So keep that in mind for sure. But other than that, really good movement with the head in general. Now, the arms go out about that much. Down, full 360. Now, there is a little bit of a butterfly joint. Now, is that the new style of butterfly joint? I'm not too sure. I guess it could be, but if it is, it's not too big of a difference from the original. Still, though, the little bit that we do get is quite nice. Now, the elbows go in a little, well, I was going to say a little less than 90, but kind of 90 exactly. Now, there is rotation as well. The hands are both on vertical hinges, so they go up, down, and full 360, of course. Now, the ab crunch goes forward that much, but the Beskar chest plate does get in the way a little bit and back a lot. Now, there's the full range with the head and ab crunch. That is quite good. good. And of course, full 360 as well. The legs kick forward about that much, back that much, split. Wow, that is crazy. She can do the full splits. I don't think I've had a figure that can do that in a long time. That is very impressive. Maybe that's because of the lack of thigh cut, but I don't know how that would really relate to that. Now, like I was saying earlier, there is a little bit of movement here, kind of like a ball joint. As you can see, that's how they are attached. So you do get a little bit of cut there that would resemble what the thigh cut does, but still not full 360. And like I said, I'm not too mad about that. Legs go down that far, full 360. Of course, just keep in mind the little knee pad here. Boot rotation. Oh yes, we do have boot rotation, and the ankles do go up, down, and beautiful ankle rocker pivot. First, for comparisons, here we have our new Sabine next to the, I was going to say the first, but this is the second Black Series Sabine with the, if the helmet would come off. As you can see, that one was really loose, but this one is damn near impossible. I actually did a few days ago put this helmet on this one and this on here. Do not do that. I had to like heat it up to get this off. It is very tight, but as you can see, yeah, that does have the photo reel, and as you can see, quite different likenesses and very different skin tone, although I do think the actress cast for Sabine live action is phenomenal. But putting her to the side, if she would stand, come on, stand. Let's look at the TVC one. Now, the big complaint with the TVC one is the size of the helmet, which borderline is almost, well, I was going to say almost the same size as the Black Series one. It is not, but it is closer than it probably should be. And also, it looks like two completely different helmet designs. I think I'm going to say that the Black Series one is more accurate. That, at least in my mind, looks more familiar to the design in the show. This looks very animated. And if we compare the likenesses, they both are very, very good. Very impressed with this one, especially at the scale. One bonus that they could have included with the Black Series one is the bag that this TVC one has, as well as the little spray paint. But then again, this was a deluxe when probably it shouldn't have been, so getting those things without the Black Series one is not too big of a deal. Here we have the new Sabine compared to some of the Ghost crew, being Chopper, Hera, and Ezra. Review for him out now, and the review for her should be coming after the HK87, which will be after the Morgan Elsbeth, and the Morgan Elsbeth is the next review. Mind-blowing stuff, people. Next up, here we have Sabine compared to Ahsoka along with Hu Yang. Very sad. All three of them are stuck in a galaxy far, far away and a long, long time ago. Here we have Sabine compared to Marok along with the HK87. Reviews for both of these are coming out shortly. Next up, here we have Sabine compared to Grand Admiral Thrawn along with Morgan Elsbeth. Review for her next. That should be a awfully short review as there isn't a lot to do. Hell, I could probably just do it in this video. Here's Morgan Elsbeth, you know, no accessories, you know, Night Sister, legs, and a very good head sculpt. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Great figure. Bye. Here we have Sabine compared to two other female Mandalorians, being, of course, Bo-Katan along with Koska Reeves. I hope we see these two live action together soon. I think it's kind of inevitable at this point. And lastly, for comparisons, here we have Sabine compared to Kanan Jarrus along with Zeb Aurelios, and also I did give her the Darksaber just so you could see what that looks like. And now for my final thoughts on the Sabine Wren figure from the Ahsoka show. I gotta say, I am very happy and impressed with this figure overall. The first Sabine was quite a good figure, and I know some people are still saying it is better than this one, but in my opinion, I want to say highly disagree with that. I'd probably just say disagree. That figure is still good, but I think this one is way, way better than that one. I love all the accessories, the helmet, just all the different colors. This is just a really fun figure to play with. She was the second one that I got of all 8 of these Ahsoka figures, and honestly, that was a good one. It held me over for the time being. It's also just really crazy to have a live action Sabine Wren figure. I remember when she was cast, I was like, wow, I cannot imagine to be her and how happy she would be when she sees a figure of her. At least I think she would be happy. I would be ecstatic. No, and I'm not talking about no selfie series. I ain't doing that because that wouldn't even look like me. But to get an actual figure of yourself must be a out-of-body experience or something along the lines of that. Only real positive stuff coming out of this figure for me. Like I said in the beginning, I do have a few gripes, but I don't think I can really think of any, maybe just the helmet. Other than that, I think this is a phenomenal figure, so my rating shall follow suit, and I think I'll give her like a 9.5 out of 10. I think she really does deserve that. But as always, let me know what you think of this figure in the comments down below. Do you like her? Do you not? Are you planning on picking her up? Did you not? And also, 2 other questions. Did you like her in the show, and did you like the show in general? I personally really enjoyed the show. I thought it was really good, maybe a few problems here and there, but it just left me on the edge of my seat wanting so much more, and I do think she did a phenomenal job in the show as Sabine Wren live action. But that's all that I have to say with this figure. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and as always, I will see you tomorrow. Bye, guys. How does this thing work? Oh, do I have the Force? me see. Do I have the Force? Yep, she does have the Force.